Good evening and welcome to Telling Tales. Here we tell atmospheric stories together through the medium of tabletop role-playing games. It's Monday night, so we are playing Masks of Nyarlathotep with 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. Before we get started, let's talk about, there are links below the stream to our social media, our Discord, which you should join and come and chat with us, our Patreon, where you can support us if you enjoy what we do, and our other streaming platforms. We will also be doing a 5-year anniversary stream at some point later this month. The date is yet to be properly confirmed, I think. So if you join the Discord, you'll get updates on that. We have a handy notifications tab for when things are happening. Also, I am going to be running a Halloween game featuring a few people from this evening's stream, actually on Friday, October the 31st, All Hallows Eve. It's going to be very spooky, hopefully. On with this evening. So the group are in New York. We did the Peru prologue, so the group became very good friends with Jackson Elias. And then following his invite to them to come to New York, they found him having incredibly recently been brutally murdered in his hotel room. And then following up on that and investigating, they've come across a number of other strange occurrences, a man who is likely not guilty for numerous murders for which he is going to be executed, and potentially some strange goings on in an art emporium called Juju House. So at the end of last session, strange things are said to happen in the dark of the moon, which in game time is tomorrow night. So the group are trying to sort of get their ducks in a row about what they're going to do about that. At the end of last session, they got in touch with a server at a restaurant nearby who had previously been quite helpful in giving them information, and are going to see if they can get a little more help from that person. Without further ado, let's bring some players on. Let's bring on Jack, who plays Ted Hobbs. Hey, Jack. Ted, he's a journalist. There's maybe a big story. How's he feeling?
I think he's quite anxious to get in there and get the scoop now. It feels like we've been, I suppose in game time, it's not as long as sort of in person. But yeah, we're on the verge of something big happening, it seems like. We got a bit of a... I mean, the guy was perfectly pleasant to us when we went in, but there's obviously something's going on. So Ted wants to find out what it is and, take some photos and share that story, because obviously ultimately there's a miscarriage of justice potentially happening as well. Aside from all the scary cult stuff, there's a guy that's potentially going to get, an innocent man potentially going to get executed. So Ted's quite keen on that as well, or stopping that, not keen on him getting executed.
All the better if he's innocent.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Let's bring on Sam, who plays Mrs. Farwell. Justin, who plays Mr. Farwell, can't be with us this evening, so Sam will also be sort of proxying any major decisions that Mr. Farwell will be making. How is Mrs. Farwell feeling about everything up to this point, Sam?
Hi. It's been a real roller coaster, I think. The real mystery and intrigue of it all, combined with the genuine fear of people dying and potentially being going to the execution for things that they didn't do, and also the thoroughly corrupt police threatening us and potentially would be absolutely willing to stand by and let creepy cult people kill us, because they might also be in the cult, or at least involved in the cult, which is very unsettling. So I think it's safe to say, well, Mrs. Farwell sees the necessity and what we're planning on doing tomorrow night. She still feels really rather nervous about it, particularly because we've definitely been clocked, probably multiple times, and they're probably following us around and watching everything we do, and they're preparing for tomorrow night, knowing we're going to be there and are jumping on us at any moment. Mr. Farwell, on the other hand, is quite laissez-faire about it and probably fine, but
Well, all pretty understandable, I think. Cool. Let's bring on John. He plays Merritt Barton. Hey, John.
Hi, Jonny.
How's Merritt feeling?
Merritt is feeling, I think, definitely anxious. Not so much for himself or his safety, but more, it feels like we are approaching a time for action. And while we have informed who we believe are trustworthy members of the police, Barton's still slightly conflicted about, like, should we be getting involved? Should we be letting the police handle it? Are we making things worse or putting ourselves in danger by getting involved, or do the authorities, such as they are, need help with this? And I think that's, I think figuring out what we're doing and what we are comfortable with is really the next step. And Merritt suspects that's going to involve a lot of arguing. And I can't hear you.
Yes, potentially. But let's bring on our final player for this evening, Steve, who plays Edwin Price. I think Edwin has been making a list and checking it twice.
Edwin has, yes, but the list, doesn't end with and here is our, bulletproof solution that is bound to solve every problem we come across. It's basically a list of how the situation is very messy and could be quite harmful to any and all who participate in it. Yeah, Peru seemed a lot easier in comparison, really. Yeah.
Peru, we were basically on a trail and just had to follow it, I guess.
But yeah, we just had to stay away from a couple of people, it seemed. And then there was an unspeakable thing in the pyramid. But
yeah, but I think the thing with that is, once we're there and we're stranded in the middle of nowhere with only ourselves to deal with it, like, the options of what to do are somewhat clearer, because it's, well, we do what we do or we don't. Whereas now there's a lot more nuance and possibilities to it.
I was also under the impression that Jackson Elias knew what he was doing.
That also helps.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I suppose that is why it's called the prologue compared to, chapter 1, the whole hand-holding versus not hand-holding, Steve,
Yes.
sorry to say.
Yeah, the hands come off now.
As well as everything, according to Jackson Elias's death, I suppose.
So.
Okay. So it's 6 p.m. On Friday, the 23rd of January. You have just had a discussion with the server from the restaurant about meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. at a bakery around the corner from the restaurant. You also spoke to Lieutenant Poole, who is going to have some conversations and see what he can or cannot do about whatever may or may not be happening tomorrow night. I think you were all left a little unsure as to how much support might come from that. Did anybody feel a particular way about what that might mean from Lieutenant Poole? Are you basing any decisions off whichever way you might be swaying on how you think that may play out?
I took the meaning from him that he sort of didn't know what he was going to do. He needed to go and check how many people he was going to have with him, which might affect how willing he is for us to get involved.
I agree. I actually sort of had the indication that he doesn't know if he'll be able to do anything or even be there. So that was sort of, I think, where we were at. So there's no guarantee that anything will be happening on his side.
I think he seemed pretty sure that he was going to be there. It was whether he was going to be there to observe or be there to bust the door down and start shooting, you know?
I think it was more. I think he'd come to the conclusion that he might have enough evidence to do a stakeout. But my feeling was probably no more than that. But yeah, the issue is that if any of us get involved, if we do, you know, break into to try to find evidence and we find something, the problem is that then it becomes inadmissible. So the usual you know, ordered way of dealing with things would then be out of the window. It might well be useful sort of internal leverage for somebody, but in terms of getting justice, that wouldn't fly. So really, yes, I mean, so Edwin has written a few things down and would have been happy to go through and sort of quiz people and just on our feelings as to what else we do between now and then. Like, do we try to get in beforehand? There's like a last-ditch attempt of a crazy scheme where you know, we might persuade I don't know, pest controllers or some sort of official entity like that they absolutely need to have access to the place, and maybe we could sneak in alongside them, but it's so risky and very unlikely to work.
I think when Winifred will say we shouldn't do that for multiple reasons. One, it just seems ridiculously unsafe. Like they're going to immediately figure out what's going on. But also, we want to catch them in the act, and having something happen beforehand that throws everything off is the worst way of catching them in the act, because they might not meet, they might change their plans, they will definitely behave differently because something's happened. So I would say, as much as possible, avoid raising any suspicions on their part, more than we've already done on basically this day. Just be as far away as possible, or at least so they think. That's what I would vote for.
Sure, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I think Winifred has been studying maps and escape routes and the local area.
Yeah, I had success on that, so presumably I can. I don't know if it's like I have something on me, or I think I remember Jonny just said I have, like, oh yeah, this is a route here, this is a good place to go hide, sort of thing in my head.
Yeah, I said if something were to come up later that involved you needing some local, like, street knowledge, then you could remind me of your good roll on the maps.
Sounds good.
I think I might pull up something that is technically Mr. Price's idea, because Steve wrote it down. But
oh yeah, like Edwin, you would have had the chance to discuss all of these things. So yes, anything that I kind of noted down in there is fair game for any of us, as far as I'm concerned.
Edwin raised the point of watching out for cops out of uniform entering and leaving. And it sort of flies in the face of Mrs. Farwell's suggestion, but we could park our photographer at the cafe opposite the courtyard and photograph any comings and goings. That could present as tangible evidence for Lieutenant Poole, assuming that someone happens to stop by in this day specifically.
Mr. Hobbs, you said your camera needs light. Obviously, a flash would be so overt that it would be almost pointless, but are there any lampposts or anything nearby the entranceway that would give enough light? You could take one without.
Well,
if
the
I'm
officer we saw
in-
today was during the daytime.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
could
see.
sit there in the day. I mean, I wouldn't be able to use a flash in the cafe anyway. I would have to sit outside. And yeah, it'd be too obvious anyway. But yeah, it's hopefully be good enough in the day. I can sit there, and if I see someone, sneakily take a photo. I don't think I'll be.
I think it sounds like a good idea, but we have to avoid being seen. That has to be the top priority rather than getting the best photos we can. Otherwise, we might spoil everything.
I think they did have pretty compact cameras back then. I mean, they weren't the greatest, but you know, it wasn't like, you know, where the guy had to have his cloth over the head and
You get like this sort of thing.
there were handheld ones that.
Do you have a camera make or something that you own, Jack, or is Ted's one just a camera? Because there were like some
Graflex
makes and
speed graphic camera, but I think that does that need a try? Oh, there is a Kodak Brownie camera as well, which I think is the smaller one.
Oh, there you go. Yep, yep. You can literally.
I was going to say,
Okay,
I
so
thought
it's moderately
brownies
sized.
were out then. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's in the book. Of, you know, the
This
Call of
one's more
Cthulhu
of a
guide.
this size. It looks like.
Sam's character in the very first on-channel Call of Cthulhu game had a brownie.
Oh,
camera, yeah.
That's true. I did have a brownie. Yeah.
And they're really cheap on eBay as well.
I
Like, I guess
didn't know
mass
eBay existed in the 20s, Jack. Wow.
No, it's a guy
Yes.
I know. His name is
Ezekiel Bay.
Yeah.
On him.
That's just how we say things.
It's short for Eastbourne Bay. That's where they bring them in.
I mean, in terms of just going back to sort of Edwin's point from the intro or whatever. Okay, anything we find might be inadmissible in a court, but there is always the court of public opinion. If we raise enough of a stir about police corruption and a miscarriage of justice, it might be enough for a stay of execution, at least in that respect.
Yeah, that's true. Like we do have we have a couple of journalists. You might have to fight Rebecca for the scoop if.
Well, this is where the moral ambiguity lies. She'd probably be better out at getting the story out there. But I can at least take credit for the photos and some of the byline, maybe.
But again, remember that the cops, as they call them here, have already been happy to threaten us in, nighttime in the streets anyway. If they see you there taking photos of them, who knows what they'll do? At the very least, they're going to smash your camera.
Well, I don't. If I'm sat in the cafe, I don't know how well the photos will actually be taken through glass at that time. They're not going to notice me. I wouldn't have thought. I'm not going to be there as completely myself, or I'll be subtle about it.
Do you think we could disguise your camera in something?
I think just if I set it up right and aim it, then all I need to do is, I think I can maybe be subtle enough about it anyway. In a cafe across the street, they're not going to necessarily be looking for someone, and as long as I don't sit there like that, I have a general idea of how I'm aiming it.
So at least during daylight hours while the cafe is open, we can get some photographs. And that's a place to start.
And then the other option is to get into one of the tenements and try from there, but there's only sort of limited contact with people in there, I guess.
We may, as far as we know, be duplicating work. The waitress from the cafe said that one of the locals had been keeping track of the comings and goings.
She did, yes. Although she was of the restaurant, it's worth saying, not the same cafe as we stayed in every week.
Yes, that's what I meant. But getting into contact with this local resident, they may have something.
Agreed. I think, to be honest, our best bet is meeting them and finding out from there what options we have. I suspect it may give us many good angles on this place where we won't be vulnerable to reprisal. And it's difficult to gauge before we have that conversation what options there might be.
I think we should, if Mr. Hobbs is willing, or at least willing to give his camera to the cause, then we should set a guard on the cafe across from the courtyard as soon as the cafe opens. And then at 2 o'clock, we are meeting the waitress from the restaurant. And from there, we can possibly speak to the neighborhood watch representative. Let's call them that. And then hopefully, if we find anything important, we may then have time to get it to Lieutenant Poole.
I think that sounds good. Jonny, what time are we due to meet this waitress? Was it before opening?
2 p.m.
Yeah, okay. Well, that meeting at 2 p.m. gives us a good amount of time to prepare, I hope, given we expect it to be in the evening. So that's our starting place, and then maybe we split up from there after we've made a plan.
And for tonight, do we feel we need to watch the outside of the Juju house tonight? Or shall we all get a good night's sleep in preparation of a long day?
I vote for rest. I'm not going to tell you all what to do, but yes, let's rest as best we can.
We've kept an eye on the place for the last 2 nights, or at least observed it. It's probably good to break that routine and, yes, get some rest.
Very good.
Rest sounds good.
Okay. Is anybody doing like anything in their downtime? Reading anything or
It has got absolutely nothing to do with the investigation, but I have been neglecting my studies, so I would like to revise some of my Arabic. Oh, I actually passed. That's incredible.
Nice. A tick.
A tick?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Can I practice occult by doing some tarot readings on myself? No, I'm kidding. But I am doing that.
With some selfies.
Yeah, exactly.
MySpace handle, Ted inventing
Still up
that.
every evening from now on.
I'm excited to see what your tarot reading is for tomorrow, Sam.
Yeah,
I'm going to practice
done
the evening
much out
dodging. If I'm
Just stood in the road like trying to
Exactly.
dodge the cars.
Playing
was gonna
chicken.
say,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
getting
thinking.
Mr. Farwell drunk and having him throw wrenches at you.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Oh my gosh. What was I was going to say? Ah, it's gone.
Okay. So reasonably bright and early, I suppose, tomorrow if you're turning in early.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what's sort of your plan for the morning?
We're getting is the plan to get Ted ensconced in the cafe bright and early, or do we have anything to do beforehand?
I think that's a good idea if we can't think of anything else. Because we don't know what time. The one we met yesterday arrived at lunchtime, but we don't know what time someone would appear.
And should somebody be staying with him. We don't.
I think we don't want anyone going off on their own.
Yeah.
I suppose it looked more notable one person sat there on their own than just two people just having a really long chat, catch up or whatever.
Should we say Corporal Shane?
I was going to suggest that, yeah. Also, as you head down, the person on the desk grabs you and you have a telegram from Rebecca Schosenberg, which says, he has a few men who will keep watch.
That's better than they know where you're staying. Run for your lives.
I'd say that's about a 8 out of 10, good to bad, isn't it? Message we could have got. Fun thought just occurred to me. This is entirely me role playing Justin's character, but I wonder if the spell that he learned is just kind of coming into his head over that night.
Oh yeah, didn't I learn a spell?
I think there's been a few spells going around, isn't there?
Ah, was I supposed to
Everyone
pick
got
that spell?
spells.
That's because we went mad.
I mean, I didn't go mad and didn't learn a spell, so
Okay, at least it's not just me then.
I don't think you picked one, John. I think there's
Oh,
a particular...
Doesn't it take quite a while to learn a spell?
Yeah, theoretically.
well, the words go around his head then.
Because words going round anyone's head is fine. There's no issues there with accidentally,
I've
half-casting
Speak
stuff.
them out loud.
I've seen games where they rule that you can either take time to learn it, or if it gets like flashed into your brain during an episode of madness, then you can cast it during like an moment of extreme duress.
What were these spells? I wasn't there. I didn't
give anybody
even know?
names.
Oh right, excellent.
No,
Excellent.
it was just you have some things, and that was as far as we've got with them. It just came into my head.
Nice.
I remember
Nice.
you two got them. Anyway,
Which tome was it you read, John?
That is a good question. Let me see.
Tome of really useful spells that don't drive you mad. Volume 1.
I think
That is the
I
most
read
cursed tome I've ever heard.
Selections des Livres d'Avant because it was in French and I speak French.
Yeah.
It was the one that mentioned Sithogua and Pazmuzo and Nodens.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep. Everything's fine. Okay. So Ted and Corporal Shane are going to the cafe.
Mm-hmm.
What time? Are you going for like shortly after opening?
You on mute?
Yeah,
You
muted Jack. Are you talking like between 8 and 9 sort of time? Is that or later?
I think so. I think
earlier?
the plan is to get up and go for opening because we can get breakfast there.
Yep.
Also, if the bad guys are night owls, if you get in really early and then stay inside, they won't see you, right?
Exactly. We won't bump into them as we're going into the cafe to do a stakeout.
Okay. And what is everyone else up to?
That is a great question.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do before we think it too. Just prepping like all my stuff I want to do.
Oh, I did have a thought actually. The attic hatch. This is planning for an eventuality that might not happen, but it might be useful to like get some rope and some, I don't know, some way of securing it, just in case we have a weird desire to climb down through the the attic hatch into Juju House. Yes, getting something like rope or something like that could be handy.
On the topic of getting supplies, should we, if you're thinking about going inside, should we prepare to arm ourselves? Because this, I look sideways at Mr. Farwell.
It's safe to say
not
Mr. Farwell is
sure.
currently armed.
How?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Mr. Farwell will be bringing whatever arms he has with him. Not that I have his character sheet here. And Mrs. Farwell will bring her pocket knife.
I
Wow.
left my revolver at home because I didn't feel like trying to sneak it into a foreign country.
If we are splitting into groups, presuming that we might not stay together as a 4, it would make sense for at least one of you to be armed. If I'm with my husband, presumably. I don't know how easy that would be to arrange short notice. However, I also don't know if Shane probably has a weapon, right? Although Shane might want to keep it because that would mean that group is safe.
Yeah.
I feel like Mr. Farwell might have multiple weapons, but I honestly don't remember.
I think it wouldn't be too hard for me to go and just buy like a lead pipe or something.
Yeah, that's true. You could
Or
get
crowbar. Yes, that would be useful
yeah.
for other reasons as
I
well.
mean,
Well, yeah.
I think Mr. Farwell had plenty
Farwell
of
had a
tools
crowbar.
that could be
yeah.
used as a weapon if you just want a blunt object.
Farwell has a 38 and a blackjack,
There you go.
so he may well be willing to hand the blackjack over as a.
I think now someone's mentioned it. I would quite like a crowbar.
Okay.
Well, why don't you?
Oh,
two
he
take a
also
crowbar and
has a
blackjack
crowbar.
between you?
I'll take his crowbar.
He also has a handsaw for really close combat.
Blimey.
Or surgery.
No, that's
Just
his knife.
a knife. Yeah.
Well, we know he's got a knife, actually, yeah.
Okay. So you have an assortment of weapons between you.
Mm-hmm.
So Ted and Shane in the cafe. What's everyone else? Everyone else's location.
I think that they're going to go before us. Was that kind of what we were thinking? And then
Yeah,
we're gonna
I
head
guess
there
so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a midday-ish, a bit after, to meet for the 2 p.m. thing. I don't think there's anything else to do before that, right?
I don't think so. I don't think.
It's been mulling about at that point.
I still think like we could do with getting a rope, getting flashlights for everyone would also
Good
be
idea.
helpful.
And a first aid kit.
And a first aid.
Everyone's going to get a first.
I have a first aid kit and a lantern already, so.
Oh, cool. Excellent. So yeah, other than getting supplies, maybe checking the papers, just partially to distract myself, partially to check whether anything interesting is going on. I'll read through some of those. But I presume the next appointment is 2 p.m. I don't think there's anything for us to do before that.
Ted sees anything before then, I suppose.
Okay.
Does the cafe have a phone? And so Ted will have, you'll have the number of the hotel in case anything.
Yeah. I mean, they must have a phone.
Maybe if we'd been organised enough, we would have asked Ted to call the hotel once he arrived from the cafe and pass the number of the cafe over, so that worst case, we can call back from somewhere else if we need to.
We can also just ask the operators to connect us to the cafe. That's
yeah.
how it works. Is that how it works in the
that's true,
20s?
actually. You would have done, yeah. True,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing something unnecessary, I guess.
That's all
You
good.
forgot we were in the 20s.
Ironically, much easier to get hold of people, maybe in some ways. Okay, Jack, can you make me? Are you so? What exactly are you attempting to do, and what is your trigger point to do certain things?
So we're going to sit in the cafe. Assuming Ted knows he'll be able to get half decent photos through the glass of the window from the distance. Ted's more likely to know that than Jack is, because I'm not a photographer in 1923, whereas Ted is. Then he's going to sit there with Corporal Shane and try and look inconspicuous, as if, they're just two friends catching up over coffee. And when he sees someone go into Juju House, he's going to try and sneakily take a photo of them using his Kodak Brownie camera. Because I had a look at the size difference between the two, and I think, if I'm right, the Kodak's sort of like this size, which is hard, whereas the other one is more this size. I've just got cardboard boxes around for size comparisons, so it's going to be harder to sneakily take a photo of something that size, and obviously quite thicker than that. I hope I didn't have my breath on. I'm just thinking about it. No, I didn't.
I was, yeah.
It didn't. It's just got various warnings on.
Warning,
show
do
this
not
box.
use to demonstrate
On a live stream.
the size of a camera.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can do roles for that, which I probably will need to do throughout the day. A few photography roles, maybe. If people turn up, maybe we might turn up.
So your issue here is that if you're attempting to get a picture of somebody, and actually entering or leaving the shop, is that you are a distance away that they will be difficult to make out on a camera and picture size that you would get at this time. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it will probably be a hard photography role versus a standard one, unless you were to sort of try and follow them in and take a picture from closer.
What about, if I've got the layout right, if as soon as we see someone starting to walk into the alleyway, we take the photo. That obviously, I'm guessing, like half the distance.
Yeah,
makes it a bit more likely they're going to spot us, and we'll probably only have really got the back of them anyway. But if we go for that as a sort of trade-off, is they're more likely to spot us, but we get a slightly better photo than just a vague shadow at near a building.
Yeah.
If it was the summer, it wasn't like January, I'd say we sat outside, but that to me looks more suspicious.
Yeah,
I've got a great idea. Like, whenever anybody's suspicious starts going down the alleyway, just get someone to fire a gun in the air outside. They'll spin around. Click. Perfect.
And I was just trying to take a photo of the guy firing a gun, not you, man, walking down the alleyway.
Okay, so by my reckoning, you would get 8 pictures from a roll.
Yeah.
In this type of camera.
If that's what you say so. It probably tells us in the handbook somewhere.
It probably does. But I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
In this world, that's how many it is, because it's not worth searching through.
So, can you also make me an easy spot hidden?
Easy spot hidden doesn't mean I'll
Yeah.
make it.
Just because I'm assuming you're not literally staring out of the window for like 4 hours without ever tearing your eyes. You know, I assume you're attempting to maintain some kind of like, I'm just here having a coffee and a sandwich with my friend.
Yes. Okay. So I'll go with the spot hidden first.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the whole realism element of staring out the window at the alleyway for like what 6 hours. You're totally not going to keep attention.
And the realism is what I'm leaning into with the roll of 81. That my attention will wane over that period of time.
It's okay because Corporal Shane got a 3. So I think at some point you sort of yawn or something, and you feel like a slap on the shoulder and kind of catch yourself, and then you turn and you see somebody is just turning into the alleyway.
Shall I do a photography roll?
Yes. Oh, actually, just quickly, did you spot the person as you were leaving in your overalls?
We did,
I-
yes.
Did everyone?
I think everybody saw them actually. The
Okay.
overalls group did definitely.
Yeah.
And we did because we hung about to
to listen to them.
eavesdrop.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, cool. So it's that person.
Okay.
That's just turned into the alleyway. Yeah.
I got a normal success.
Okay, nice. So yeah, they continue down. Are you going to basically spend your roll on this, like just getting a few to try and create a story, as it were?
I think so. Yeah, because you get. Yeah, I don't think we can trust that one photo is going to get everything we need. So it's taking a few.
Okay. I won't ask you to roll them all, but if you can make me 2 more rolls. I think making you roll for every individual image is a bit much.
That was under half. This roll was. Whether that makes a
Nice.
difference. And again, another success.
Very nice. Okay, yeah, it's very similar to last time. They go into the shop. They're in there for a couple of minutes. They come back out again.
I think what Ted will try to do as he sees them coming out is try and get one. So I don't know.
I assumed that was the case.
Yeah, obviously from the front, try and get some facial features in it.
No stealth required because obviously he's like
he's not expecting
30 meters away or
as well,
something. Like, yeah, he probably can't see into the cafe here from light reflections on the window or whatever. So I'm not concerned about that perspective. So yeah, you're pretty certain that you basically managed to capture an image as he's tucking something into the inside of his jacket as he's leaving.
Is it a drum?
It's a red piece of cloth, just kind of no. Yeah, you're not sure what it is, but potential. If you had to guess, like the obvious thing that you think it may be, and you don't know whether that's making your mind think it is, like an envelope of money.
I mean, court of public opinion, that'll do very nicely in the papers.
Well, yes, if there's already stories going out about potential police corruption and bribery and stuff, you've got a police officer visiting off duty and going like that with something in his pocket. It doesn't have to actually be money. It just, if it looks like it,
yeah,
it's very easy to sway people that way.
Oh, the story writes itself, Ted.
So is your plan to like stay there, or is that you sort of considering job done? Because the other thing is that this is like the same time as it was yesterday. So it's shortly after 1 p.m. So you could definitely go to the other meet as well if you wanted to.
Well, I think what Ted potentially might do is head to the publisher's place because they had a photo lab there, and actually get the photos developed.
Okay.
Because I think it makes more sense for them. You know, we're not going to go in boots and get these sort of ones done. So I think, you know, I'll phone the hotel, or we will phone the hotel and just say, look, we've got the same guy. I'm going to get these photos developed. And I was going to say maybe Corporal Shane stays and watches, but I don't want to make that character choice for someone that's not here and put in danger like that. So we'll say we'll both go.
Come back and the whole cafe's been blown up.
Would anyone be still at the hotel at this point, or is everyone going to
We
the
probably
meet?
left,
I can't remember
haven't
what
we?
you said.
Yeah.
I'll at least leave a message then and just say
Okay.
something without outright saying I've gone. My name's such and such. I've gone here. You know.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we can deal with those first. So I think that development was pretty quick by this point, as in like minutes rather than hours. So yeah, you've basically created this, like, not quite a moving picture story, but essentially the guy turning into the alleyway, moving towards the store. You've got kind of him opening the shop door, and then again him leaving with sort of a hand tucked inside his coat, and then him again walking towards and leaving. All, you know, really sort of the best quality that you could hope for in this time period.
Some of his colleagues that are less or a bit more honest could say, yes, that's Officer such and such. So, you know, in the paper it could say police sources name this guy as him.
And again, it's, you know, you don't have pictures from another day, but if you say he was literally there the day before doing the same thing, then they're not going to, he's not going to be able to say, oh, I just went in and bought, you know, something for my girlfriend or whatever. Like, yeah. So yeah, you're pretty sure that was a morning well spent in that regard.
It's a good job I put all my stats into photography. Can't dodge worth a damn, but
80 points in jump. Okay. So yeah, is the next thing everybody meeting the server at 2 p.m?
Yes.
So you've been and gathered your, you know, all the bits that you needed. I've got no problem with you getting those items. So the four of you are going to meet her, is that right? The Farwells and Merritt and Edwin.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, are you getting there sort of 5 minutes to kind of thing? Or bang on time or even earlier?
5 minutes too sounds the sort of time I would go for.
Okay. Yeah, she is basically walking sort of down the street from the opposite direction to you at the same time as you get there. And she says, oh, I just need some bread also. It's very good. Then heads into the bakery. And has a conversation with the person in there, gets a loaf of bread in a paper bag.
If we had lunch yet, maybe we should get some bread. I am going to suggest Mr. Farwell go buy me a nice baked treat.
Sorry, I'm wrestling a dog.
No, it's
The
all
question
good.
is, does Mr. Farwell correctly guess what sort of treat Mrs. Farwell wants?
Should I roll for Mr.
Roll
Farwell's?
marital strength.
I wonder what skill would be choosing a baked good for your spouse. Praise?
There's no intuition skill, is there?
No, there isn't. Fast talk.
Luck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no! Don't let it be luck. It's luck for the pits.
I mean, fast talk would be useful for persuading you that whatever he had picked up was the thing you wanted.
No, yeah, that's the step after having made the wrong
botched
choice.
yeah. Is the dog winning?
The dog seems to be winning. I feel like the dog's gone.
The dog's going to come back, and I'm the GM now.
Right, nice. Yeah.
This strikes me if the dog has decided to chew something they're not supposed to chew. My dog is politely being asleep.
Oh, Jonny can actually still hear. He's just got his headphones on, hasn't he?
Yeah, he can hear us.
Sorry, I just need a minute. She's hurt a paw earlier and is
Oh,
now
dear.
pulling the
Oh.
bandage off, so I just need a second.
No. Poor
Oh,
It's
baby.
fine.
Oh, have all the time. Take care of the paw. It's more important than the stream.
I'm gonna give Jonny and Doggo a little bit of privacy, so I'm just gonna.
Okay,
Let's do
sounds
that.
good. I'm gonna make a spot hidden roll for Mrs. Farwell from outside to see if she can notice the baked good that she wants. She succeeds in noticing the baked good that she wants. There we go.
Now, what role is it to try and communicate that with your spouse that's inside already trying to decide what you want?
They don't cover these things in the handbook. It's interesting.
They just don't, do they? They don't
No.
know.
No, I don't think there is a section about role-playing romance as a married couple of many years. It's almost as if it expects investigators to have all of the important people in their life die horribly.
Or be ready to be backup characters for when their investigator dies horribly.
I did wonder when we came up with this idea whether it was something that Cthulhu really doesn't intend you to do, especially when my significant person is literally Justin's character. Like, how normal is that?
I think having a significant person as a player character is a bit risky.
It's yeah, obviously super risky.
Could be entertaining, though. Well,
it's going to be very entertaining when Justin's character inevitably dies.
You seem certain of that.
I mean, of the two of us, he both throws himself into danger far more and has significantly lower sanity.
Yeah.
My character has so far only increased in sanity since starting this series, so
yeah, on the right path there. Obviously, that's not about to change, I'm sure.
Apparently, investigating eldritch abominations is a good way of improving your mental state. Maybe we should recommend that as a form of therapy for folks.
It's nice to have a goal towards things, though, isn't it? Sometimes a bit of a purpose.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. It's a direction.
Some find it in charity work, others find it in, investigating horrors.
If there was ever going to be a character that would find that meaning in life, it would be Miss Farwell.
I've got a question for you, Sam, as we're taking a pause.
No, 4242. I think the Farwells are a childless couple. I think we were pushing it enough to be husband and wife in this world to also have children that we had to bring into the mess of Cthulhu. I think was safe to leave out. I think it also fit the characters quite well. But...
I do like the idea of you having small children, though, and then just sort of leaving them to go gallivanting across the world, studying the esoteric arts.
I don't know about Mr. Farwell's family, other than the grandfather who is I remember that. Who's somehow still alive when Justin's character is in his 30s and this is the 1920s, but I won't ask anything. But my character, both of her parents died of Spanish flu, but she still has to be fair, I'm talking about grandparents. She still has one of her grandparents alive who's really old and is still living at the family home, and who she really doesn't want to be bothered with, and just has like a caretaker and a nurse, and occasionally I imagine gets letters from, and it's just like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. She's not really a family person.
So what you're saying is, if Mrs. Farwell dies, her grandparents the one that takes over, right?
Yeah, I'll end up playing a 95-year-old woman, basically, if Miss Farwell dies. She's the closest relative next, yes. That would be quite fun. Now I almost want to play a really elderly character in this.
I
I've
have listened to some existing Call of Cthulhu audio role plays where they've had some very interesting elderly characters who were full of character. Great fun, yeah.
I've been listening to the Hellboy audiobooks. It's like a trilogy of them on Audible. I say they're audiobooks. They're almost like productions with a cast, and everything. They're quite good. And they're loose. It's like a loose trilogy. The first one is set in the 80s with Hellboy. Then the next one's set in 1930s New York, as there's an investigative journalist investigating kidnappings and stuff like that. So, oh wow, that's good. And then that character then does turn up as a 90-year-old woman in the next one, which is set in the 90s.
Cool.
So you saying that reminded me of, oh well, I've only just started it, so I don't know how much she gets into it, but from the sounds of it, she's going to be quite into it.
I wonder, I know you get penalties when your characters go over like age boundaries.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
like
to
each
know-
decade, isn't it?
You do
I
get
think it's each
Yeah.
decade.
Do they
bonuses, though, as
speed
well,
up?
though.
Because I want to know how many malices a 93-year-old gets.
We could look
Don't
at it.
you get
must be able to
some-
play a 93-year-old.
Better role like stats though for being older, like your more mental based ones.
I think
Just,
education goes up, or it has a chance to go up.
Yeah,
I feel like you get
Um,
more skills, or is that just through the education bonus?
We'll have to
There
dig
we
out
go,
the
age. So between
Hmm.
15 and 19, deduct 5 points among strength and size. Deduct 5 points for education. Roll twice to generate look. And you okay? So when you're like a kid, essentially, roll twice to generate a look score and use the highest value.
Ah. Yeah, the minuses stop at the 80s. I don't think it expects you to play a character over, I guess, 89.
Well, it's against
Basically.
the rules.
Oh, is it?
What?
A player can choose any age between 15 and 90 for their investigator. If you wish to create an investigator outside this age range, it is up to the keeper to educate, and then use the appropriate modifiers for your chosen age only.
Ah, okay. So it's not like you've broken the system when you're actually like, min-maxing to play a 98-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, this just begs a limited series where it's set in some eldritch event happens in a nursing home, and
like
that'd be so
Bubba
fun.
Hotep.
oh yeah,
Do you,
Yeah.
John? I
So-
played this with. Do you remember Traveller, where like the character creation in that, and if you just kept playing the character creation, you just get better, and the
Yeah.
malices for age were just so insignificant. I
The
had to redo
character
it.
creation was basically like a mini solo RPG
roleplay.
that you played and
Yeah.
hopefully didn't die.
I was going to say, is this one of
Before
those
you
ones where you could
finish?
die?
Yeah,
in
you
the,
can die.
the character
yeah.
creation, yeah.
Yeah, but
I think-
because it's like an RP, you continue to level your character. So even though there are malices to getting older, you just get so much stuff that it's worth it. So it's like, unless other than the risk of dying, a min-maxer would just keep playing that to whatever infinite age.
But no, because it can still keep getting worse and worse and worse.
It can, yeah. But if you're
It's
not
just that
hitting the negative things, it's worth just keep going.
Justin got
Yeah, he did.
incredibly lucky by getting up to 80 years old and somehow ending up as landed gentry with a celebrity
Yeah.
cookbook as a result
And,
of it.
yeah, and a planet, didn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
No, did he have a planet or had he discovered Sam's planet?
Oh yeah, you're right. He was the one who discovered Sam's planet. He got the claim for it, and then Sam. That's right. I remember now. That was a silly game.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in terms of Call of Cthulhu, if you want the highest education and with the minimal impact on your other stats, you're best to be between 60 and 69 years old.
Yeah.
Because after that,
like
you're still only making. Well, you make 4 improvement checks, and you deduct 20 points a month strength, con, and dex in your appearance by 15.
I think I stand by Cthulhu in that. I think the best years of your life are 60 to 69. That's like the peak of you're not so old and decrepit you can't do things anymore and your health isn't completely ruined. But also you have lots of things and you might have more time and you've kind of sorted yourself out. That kind of tracks in my head.
Okay, boomer.
I'm not the age yet.
That is usually around the age where other people who aren't in our generation start retiring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to retire, so it doesn't track anymore. But if you go back in time, it would have been true for people
Yeah.
then to now. I mean, none of us are going to make it to that age because the world ain't going to exist then, so it doesn't count. But
I think it's when you get your bus pass that I don't even know if they still do. It's when you get a cheaper entry to the leisure center that I think most leisure centers don't do anymore.
Or exist.
Or exist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and library. Oh, wait.
No, libraries are always free, Sam. That's a library.
There's one really crafty librarian near Sam that's making a mint off of him.
All along.
Nice.
I'm gonna double check in with Jonny to see how he is doing. Yeah, in your 80s, it's the 4 education checks, but also deduct a total of 80 points across strength, constitution, and dexterity, and 25 points from appearance.
That's a lot of points down.
Mm-hmm.
80. Oh.
Yeah, you're definitely wanting to solve mysteries from inside at that point
Yeah,
and
that
not get
would have me
anything.
at like 20 of each stat. Oof.
It's not as bad, I guess, in like a modern day game where you just become the guy in the chair sort of thing, maybe. But then that's not as fun to role play or play with other people. Like, I think this is a common criticism of Cyberpunk 2020, where you have like netrunners that have a separate game to everyone else.
I thought that with those. I love the idea of a separate game, but also now they're just playing their own game.
Yeah, and the GM has to divide their attention between
Yeah.
playing this game and this game.
Mm-hmm.
You muted, Jim.
I also remember the only time that we really had net running mechanics used in a game. It was Sam's character that was trying to net run in the middle of a combat. So I'd fire my gun and roll dice. I fire my gun and roll dice. I get shot and die. Literally happened to my character. 1 shot killed, first round of combat. It was great. And then Sam's turns always took like 5 minutes.
That's the problem with the split system, yeah.
I think, if I remember right, they simplified it a bit on Cyberpunk Red, because the idea was the net was essentially taken down like the sort of internet was, and it was all more local networks.
Yeah.
And that was the sort of more, it was more similar to what it is like now or like it is in the video game. To sort of try and stop that, you should have like the quick hacks or whatever. I could be wrong, but I'm sure they at least tried to simplify it and stop there being essentially 2 games in one, and get people to play netrunners. Yeah. I wonder if Cyberpunk's a bit like Shadowrun in a way, which I guess is Cyberpunk, where the lore and the world is maybe better than the actual game. I mean, I enjoyed the game we played of it, the one shot. It's just a bit crunchy, I think, isn't it?
It has run away with, the theme is so evocative that it just spawns everything else. But I agree with you that the system
Cyberpunk maybe isn't the best Cyberpunk game.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than like, yeah, it's like Shadowrun. Like I've not really ever played Shadowrun, but from what I hear, the book layouts aren't the greatest. So people like the lore of it, of this cyberpunk but fantasy sort of world. But yeah, I don't think the system is as good. I constantly sort of see on forums and stuff. Hey, look, there it is. How's the book layout, John?
Falling to pieces because I bought this from a car boot sale for £1. But other than that, I haven't read it yet. I just have it. But I will let you know.
The binding leaves much to be deserved.
Yes.
Wonderful geek so far.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, everyone.
Is the dog okay?
Yeah, I think she'd maybe chipped a bit of claw that had been digging into the bit where her claw comes out of, or something. I noticed she'd been over cleaning it earlier, and I just bandaged it, and then they'd basically left it alone. And I just turned round, and the bandage was like chewed off, and so I had to deal with the bandage, and then I was like, well, that now looks really sore. Anyway, I've trimmed a bit of claw, and I'm hoping that she'll stop over cleaning it now.
Well, while you've been gone with this,
you need to go-
mystery. It was
You've solved it.
Yeah,
behind it all.
Yeah,
we had a nice chat with Nyarlathotep, and he agreed to leave us alone.
Fog off.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's the campaign done.
Actually, a really nice guy.
Yeah.
You know, just a bit misunderstood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone found his masks?
Damn
There's a
it.
clown one.
Right. Ted made really good pictures.
Where's Cadbury?
Server is buying really good bread.
So is Mr. Farwell for me.
Okay.
I just got hidden and got the one I wanted.
Oh yes, that was what you were doing while I was scrambling around. Okay, and she clearly knows this. The bakery owner. Obviously comes in here quite a lot. And you sort of head back out, and she turns sort of back the way that you had come from, so away from the restaurant and away from Juju House, essentially. And says, "So, what do you want to know?"
Well, any more information you have would be helpful, but really, based on what you told us, was it yesterday or the day before? It was recently, wasn't it? I think it was yesterday. Yeah, based on what you told us yesterday, we are trying our best to monitor from a safe distance who goes in and who goes out and what happens around that place. We have a photographer who's endeavoring to take photos of the events, and we're also going to, well, keep an eye on things from elsewhere if we get the opportunity. So, as I say, anything else you know, but also anywhere you think we might be able to watch and observe tonight, I suppose, if that would be at all possible, it would be most helpful. I'll look to the others if they've got anything to add, but
I sort of might make mention of the person she talked about before, the tenant who had, like, whose place overlooked Juju House and had observed or heard various things going on.
we wouldn't want to impose, of course, only if they would feel comfortable assisting us. But it would be very helpful.
I can speak to them. They may well be willing to help.
You know the area much better than us. Where this, we think they may have a cellar where they've been doing things. I suppose it'll be accessed from inside. We're trying to watch people coming in and out. Do you have any other thoughts or advice on where we can go or what we could do to get the best view of the place? I suppose without making ourselves too obvious.
Or
Doesn't
indeed,
have
if
to
there
be a
are
friend.
regular patrols by those suspect cops or even members, people associated with Juju House, if we're aware, if we can be made aware of anywhere they tend to go, or whether they keep a schedule of patrols or anything like that, that would be useful to know about.
Can somebody make me, I guess, like a charm roll, or some kind of interpersonal skill roll?
My persuade is better than my charm. My persuade is 40. What's your?
That's fine.
My persuade is also 40. So,
do you have a better charm, Steve? Or
no, I don't.
okay, I'll
Um,
take it then.
Have a bonus die. I'm feeling generous.
Very kind and also needed. Aha, 33. Excellent.
She says, the cops don't really patrol much around here as standard. There are a couple of people who will sometimes be in the square who look to be drunks or vagrants, but I've seen them get up and leave when the morning comes, and they're not stumbling out of there. So I'd look out for them if you're trying to do anything around there. In terms of places to scope out, I think there's a abandoned shop next door.
Answers
I'm not sure
exchanged.
I'm not sure if you could get in, but other than that, I suppose the cafe opposite in the daytime, or it's the 2 tenement blocks, which you'll know basically flank the square with the Juju House on like the back of it, and then tenement blocks either side.
And your friend is in one of those?
Yeah, the one on the left, I suppose, if you were looking at the entrance to Juju House. So it's actually the one that would give you the better view, I suppose, of the door, etc.
That's good to know. Well, let's perhaps before we make any further decisions, if you'll be willing to talk to your friend, we can see if that's an option, and then work things out from there.
These
again for all your help.
lookouts, do you happen to know when they arrive generally? Is it just towards the evening, or they?
Not long after the shop closes. And they tend to leave not long before it opens.
Thank you.
Do you, is there a, how do you want me to let you know how the conversation goes? I'm working
We'll
from
wait.
5, but I don't know if that's too late for you. You could call the restaurant again.
We're booked into the restaurant tonight,
Oh,
so
okay.
we'll see you there. I imagine probably for an early meal because we wanted to catch them like this evening, so probably booked in
Yeah.
at 5.
Perfect.
Well, I suppose there's no need to bother you any further unless my friends here have any further questions. We'll leave you to it. Thank you again.
I'll
I really do
go have a chat
hope
with
that
her
this-
and... Sorry, Sam.
I really do hope that something positive will come of this, and whatever dark things are happening there will come to an end. So I suppose that may reassure you somewhat.
Yeah. I'll go chat with her and deliver half this bread and get ready for work. See you in a few hours.
Thank you.
As we're wandering away from her, I'll just say, so if we do get access to that tenement, hopefully that becomes possible. I don't think there's much value in more than 2 of us being there. That still leaves another pair of people. Now, I know we talked about trying to get into the abandoned room next door. I'm very worried about doing so tonight, though.
I think if any of us were to try to get in there, we should do that before the store closes, whilst the courtyard is empty, and be prepared to remain there for quite a while.
Agreed. If we think that's a good idea at all, but I still think it's very unlikely we'll get in without being spotted.
It is risky. That's certainly the case. Also, we don't know where the police will be. If assuming it goes ahead, we don't know where they'll be stationing themselves.
Well, what does everyone think? Are there any other ideas for that other pair of people, assuming we are okay to be in the tenement? And I suppose this is dependent on what Mr. Hobbs and Corporal Shane do as well, actually. I think they're the 6 of us for a meal tonight, so...
That was an interesting noise. Did
my
anyone
fan,
else hear
I
that?
think.
Was it? Oh, right.
I think it's my fan. I apologize.
Just stood there going, "Woo, love you, Johnny."
It's the dog.
I missed what the last question was because I got distracted by the sound of a Hoover trying to take off.
I was basically saying we currently have one thing we're doing that tonight for definite, which is being in the tenement, but we can split into up to 3 groups. Mrs. Farwell is very against the idea of going into the building next door, but it also seems like it would be very helpful, and I'm interested in others' thoughts.
Going into the building next door tonight or before tonight?
Before tonight, if we were to do it at all, and staying. So effectively now.
I think we maybe wanted to try and talk to Lieutenant Poole one last to find out where he's planning on being and if he wants us involved, and we can't do that if we get into position now. On the other hand, if we get into position now and he also turns up there, then he can't tell us to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But it also does mean that Mr. Hobbs and Corporal Shane don't know where we are.
Also, do we know where Lieutenant Poole's going to be tonight? How are we going
Not
to meet him?
yet.
Would Jack, do you think that Ted would have said that if he got pictures, he was going to go to the publishers and develop them?
We had plenty of time to discuss things. That
I think it's reasonable to have
yeah.
made that plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say that you could, like, go to the publishers or call the publishers,
Mm-hmm.
and share a discussion around it.
If the publishers isn't far away, maybe we're having this conversation while walking. I don't know.
I think I'll call ahead just to check. And then if they
I
say
mean, you
they're
might
there,
have
we'll
called
head over.
the hotel anyway and gone, "Is there any messages for us?"
That's true.
And then the hotel would have relayed that, we were there anyhow.
We also are under the assumption we're all going to meet up at the restaurant briefly, at least.
Yeah.
Either way, I think it sounds like we have come to the conclusion that Hobbs and Shane are at the publishers. It's still about 3 hours away from when we were going to meet at the restaurant. So let's head to the publishers.
Yep. You rendezvous at the publishers.
I'll
And
show them the
Ted
photos.
has finished developing his very well taken photographs.
They open the
He's
door to the lab just as I'm about to
Yeah.
develop them and ruin the film.
These are the best photos I've ever taken. We just open the door to you sobbing.
That'd definitely be a sanity loss, I think.
That's the end of Ted's character. Wow, these are incredible photographs, Mr. Hobbs.
Yeah, I'm, quite good at what I do. I said I'd get some decent ones, and hopefully, so this might be enough, at least to lend some credit to a story about corruption in the police force. And if anything else turns up tonight, it just adds more to the case, doesn't it?
Can you make a copy of these? Make copies of these. As I say, I was wondering whether Lieutenant Poole might be interested in them.
Well, yeah, I think it's probably worth having a few copies of these anyway, just in case.
That's a good point. Let's leave some with Kensington.
The conversation with the lady from the restaurant was productive. She thinks her friend will be able to help us, hopefully, tonight with the tenement with a good view over the alley and the entrance. We were just thinking about what else to do, though, because we certainly don't all need to be there, and we don't really... I suppose we haven't decided where else to be.
Well, the other option is the shop next door. Try and see what's going on, peeking through the floorboards. You can get up there quietly.
We need to get up there soon before they close.
It may be compromised, though. The kind lady mentioned that the shop seems to have nighttime lookouts posted, often in the guise of drunks lying in the doorway. And I seem to remember you and Mr. Farwell describing one such gentleman on the night you first entered.
That explains maybe why the police weren't so bothered by the drunk at the time then.
I mean, they don't necessarily know when we're in, but they probably know that there is access to it.
That was a few nights ago, though, wasn't it? That was fairly early on. I've lost track of time in terms of. But if they're only there, like when the shop's closed, we've only ever gone into the courtyard once overnight, and that was a while ago.
Yeah, they might not know how much we know about the shop and its relationship to the the actual building Juju house, and that we can sort of get access. They might have just seen us go in, and we didn't spend an awful long time in there either. We sort of got in, opened the door, saw that no one had been in for a while, and left. So they might just think, oh, nothing more of it.
It is a risk, but it's really the only place where one would be likely to overhear anything that goes on in the shop. So I don't know. It's
sounds like we are proposing splitting into two groups, and some go into the shop. Then, as loath as I am to see this idea happen, I suppose worst case we are hoping there will be some police presence tonight. So if something did get ugly, then there would be people to help and intervene.
Jonny, is there windows from the old pawn shop out into the courtyard?
Yeah, but it's all boarded up and stuff. Like the whole building's sort of not see in or outable of as it stands at present.
Because what I was thinking,
You could maybe, like, it's not like it's sort of slightly wonkily boarded, so you could probably get a little bit of a glance out if that was kind of what you were.
well, what my proposal was that however many of us want to be in the shop listening in, as soon as we hear, or if we're in danger or we hear anything like that, we get a signal to those in the tenement building that it could at least then alert the police if the police haven't decided to go in, or cause enough of a scene that the police decide something's going on and investigate. Because well, the most obvious thing for me is I could use the flash from the camera, the flash powder, to create a small explosion, or a flash that would draw attention in an absolute emergency. So essentially, I volunteered myself to be in the shop.
I'm sure we could figure out a signal, but that depends as well on us being able to get access to the police, and we still don't know what their plans are going to be at all.
Well, this is why I thought a small explosion, if they're watching, would at least cause them to investigate. If they're already on the lookout for anything.
I mean, are we able to contact Rebecca and Lieutenant Paul now? Can we?
The danger
simply
with
call
that
them?
is they tell us not to go and physically, then they
He already
stop us.
indicated we might be doing that.
Then we could ignore them. But I think perhaps the chance of collaboration and of getting Lieutenant Poole this, and I tap the picture, which may allow him to leverage more resources, would be worth the risk. I think.
Yes, this is the first concrete evidence we've got, really.
Okay. Well, I'll make some copies, so we can, keep some safe if anything does happen. Send some to Lieutenant Poole, and then also have some on hand for ourselves anyway. And yeah, we'll get them. And if someone else wants to contact Miss Schoenberg, then, and maybe just tell her we've got photos. Don't send her the photos yet.
Well, they won't arrive for a little while. Keep them with us and hope to meet them, I suppose. We have to remember, if we're planning on getting in that abandoned building for tonight, we need to go now, or as soon as possible, because we've now found out that they have lookouts from closing time. There's no hope of getting in unspotted.
You're probably 3:30 at this point.
I mean, I don't think there's any hope of getting in unspotted, no matter what, really, but now is the best chance we have.
Well, we have the overalls, we have tools and crowbars. But yes, we should make a move now. If we're not going to, I mean, I would, if possible, like to at least speak to Lieutenant Paul.
Well, whoever wants to go speak to him, and I guess is the team in the tenement building then, and the rest go into the shop now then.
I was thinking of going to the tenement building so I can speak with Lieutenant Paul as well.
I did not want to be seen as leaving friends in a dangerous position, but I think I will be of limited use in the inside party.
Are we leaving Jack with the two people who aren't here?
I was going to out of character. We all know Justin will say Mr. Farwell is
Oh, yeah.
straight volunteering for,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
As much as Mrs. Farwell, we will be complaining. Yeah.
and I mean it's up to you, Steve, what Edwin wants to do. But as a group, realistically, I think we'd suggest the military person. You know, the
I mean,
military.
that makes more sense.
It seems like
Edwin
we
is
Yeah.
has limited, yes, limited use in this environment. I think, yeah, average listen and average spot hidden, and that's about it. And combat skills not great. So yes, possibly staying away from the shop might be sensible.
So the plan is Mr. Hobbs and the other two try to sneak in some form their way in now, and the other three of us are going to try and make contact with Lieutenant Poole however we can, and then after a quick meal, get into the tenement.
I guess.
I do actually have quite good listen. Maybe I should go with them.
Well, there is an argument to say that we don't want to leave Mrs. Farwell and Edwin and Mr. Price sort of unguarded, so to speak. If you want to be in the building, we can make an argument that Corporal Shane stays with them, so there's is there as a responder if needed, rather than being trapped in danger themselves.
I think Corporal Shane should be with you in the. Me and Mr. Price are going to be in the tenement building with some old lady or something, but I would say more of you in the dangerous place. Well, I would say none of you in the dangerous place, but if you're going to go to the dangerous place, more of you in the dangerous place.
I would also suggest barricading the door or relocking it or getting the other one open if possible. The door at the far end, away from the courtyard.
Yeah, 100%.
Would be
also
sensible.
metagaming. Spot hidden is it's like my highest stat, so I should be looking.
I will go into the building.
But which one? The shop.
The shop. Yep.
Okay.
I will.
And I think Corporal Shane should go in the shop as well, personally. But
that could mean 4. Right. So Edwin is tenement building. Winifred is tenement building.
yeah. The other two are going for the shop. I mean, Jonny, we can't really decide for the other two. Or do you want us to?
I think that Shane would go to the building, like the shop.
Yeah.
As much as anything, it's the place where people are most likely to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's why I thought Shane should go there. Yeah.
And I think Mr. Farwell would want to go there as well.
Yeah, I don't think
And
there's any
also,
question about that one.
like, I don't want to speak for you as a group, but there is more benefit to more people being there than there is to more people being in the tenement building.
Exactly. That's my thinking. Yeah.
Potential.
that
If something happens and goes wrong, you would be grateful of more people there.
Yeah, but it's not.
No. Which is why this entire conversation's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
The main issue we have is with group luck rolls, because at that point we need to.
That's a point.
Yeah,
I think
maybe we
maybe
need to
we
kick
should
Mr.
stay
Farwell
out.
out.
Yeah.
Just get him to spend luck on his luck roll. That'll help.
Okay, we have a plan. Cool.
We have an
So
outline.
Essentially,
You have a
is Miss
location.
Farwell going out for dinner with a man that's not her husband. Again, she's going out with a man that's not her husband. That is scandalous.
No, as
Man.
I have found historical precedent for this.
We
It
did
was
actually,
quite
yeah.
common in the 20s for women who wanted to go places where their husband didn't want to go places to have a neutral escort, whatever.
Chaperone?
That's the word.
Yeah, chaperone. That
Thank
would be
you.
the word. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Tonight
that's
you're
what my
chaperone,
ex-wife said as well.
Surprise.
Okay. So, Edwin and Mrs. Farwell go for a quick dinner. The other four of you go into the shop. Can you make stealth rolls?
Oh dear.
This is such a
Are they
bad
hard?
idea.
Because actually none of us have eaten, so our stomachs are rumbling as we tiptoe across.
they're in the they're in the,
as,
tip of the
as we're
shop.
hiding on the floorboards
Rumbling
above the
noises
shop,
from the
all they
attic.
can do is our stomachs rumble.
That's a fail.
Good
I'm
start.
glad I didn't go there now because I've only got base stealth.
Yeah, I've only got base stealth.
So do I. I'm regretting coming.
How do group stealth rolls work in this game?
Is it
You're
majority?
just making individual stealth rolls.
Okay, it's not like a concept of group stealth. That's
I mean, it doesn't
I
matter
don't
if
think-
everyone
isn't it?
fails.
That's true.
So if one person fails, we've essentially all failed.
So
Well,
did
it might be
everyone
majority.
fail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's such a bad start. What?
You
Just
make
turn
your
around and
way.
go home.
You
Go
make your
home.
way into the abandoned pawn shop.
Slam the door and go, well, I think that went well.
It is dark at this point. And Edwin and Mrs. Farwell, you have a conversation with the server. She advises that her friend Elizabeth on the second floor in room 6 or apartment 6 will be happy for you to go there for the evening. And presumably you finish up, pay, head over there. The group in the pawn shop, right, Jack, you were asking about looking out of the windows. Is anybody looking out of the windows?
It was more to see what signal we could get to the other group if needed.
Okay.
In terms of how open they are. That's why I suggested, a small explosion.
I
Okay.
do think that being able to pit route would be quite a good idea, though, just to see who is approaching. So I am going to try and look out.
Okay.
And I'm not against maneuvering some of the boards if I have to.
Cool. Can you make a spot hidden roll, please, John?
Yes. No. That is a 97. So that's a fail, but just a fail. Not a botch.
Okay. Yeah, you don't spot anything outside at this look. Edwin and Mrs. Farwell, you pay up and are heading over to the tenement building.
Yep.
You presumably knock on the door. A young woman answers and says, "Oh," and kind of looks around and says, "Come in."
Thank you very much. My name is Farwell. This is my friend, Mr. Price.
Elizabeth. Do you want to make psychology rolls?
Sure. No, 98. That's not a success.
$95.
This is an auspicious start.
She shows you to. She's maneuvered a couple of chairs closer to the window that overlooks the square, and sort of offers you a seat Says a drink or anything.
Oh, just some water, thank you. Thanks again for helping us. I promise we will just be sitting here quietly observing nothing. There's no risk to you at all.
No problem.
Jonny, did the server tell us anything about Elizabeth beyond the name?
You kind of assume that this is the person that she was talking about that said that she'd been sort of keeping an eye on their, had spotted their movements and that kind of thing. I don't think anything other than that, unless you had pried to find out more information.
Probably not, no.
Okay. She goes off to get you a drink. You make listen rolls.
Sure. That's success. Yeah.
Also a success.
Okay. You both hear a hushed conversation. Coming from where Elizabeth has just gone.
Can we hear words or just a muted?
You can hear you can't with a standard success you can't make the words out, but you can hear her voice and then definitely somebody else's voice. Probably a man's voice.
I will just stand up and casually walk in that direction, as if I'm just having a thoughtful pace around if she wanders back in. I'm going to try and get close enough to hear, but if I have to press my ear against the door, I'm not doing that.
Okay. So you're moving casually, as in not stealthily?
One can move stealthily, but look.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
I'm trying to move stealthily.
Okay, can you make me a roll?
With the caveat that if it fails and she's coming around the door, I'm
okay.
Make a stealth roll. Probably fail a stealth roll. Oh, it's so close. I'm spending luck. Yeah, spend luck to succeed. I rolled a 25 over 20.
Okay.
And that means
you
sorry, tick.
Hear her say, "Look, we got them here. Now just take them and go." And then, assuming that you're still standing there, you hear the deeper voice say, "Who do you think you are to speak to me like that?" These are much more hushed and whispered than I'm portraying them for the sake of it coming through on the microphone. But
okay, obviously I'm gesturing to Mr. Price. I'm not moving. I want to keep listening, but I'm gesturing to Mr. Price like an urgent danger. However, I could gesture that. Probably something like. And I'm trying to hear if there's an indication of a weapon or anything being held or moved around quietly, or a gun being loaded or something. But I'm also thinking about a way out now. I might just listen for a moment longer.
Okay. Go on, Steve.
Did Elizabeth, in air quotes, might be Elizabeth, I guess, did she lock the door as we came in? Can I remember that? I think I'd be stood up and essentially preparing to bolt.
Okay, I think she probably pulled a chain over as you came in.
Right.
Okay, that's doable. I suppose it would have been suspicious to actively get the key, wouldn't it?
Put all the locks
alarm
on.
Bells running. Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind just tying yourselves up in these, that would be for my safety and yours.
Yeah, I think probably as Edwin is looking like ready to bolt, I will nod and be looking like I'm similarly ready, but just listening for just a moment. I can't resist
Oh,
listening for a lot
God.
longer.
Okay. So she says, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. And he says, I should deal with them though.
Okay, that's enough. I'm running.
And we'll leave it there.
Oh God.
So about that, we're not the ones in danger, guys.
Always the way. Always the way.
Nice.
But
Good,
who's
good.
who's the corrupt one here? Is it?
Yeah,
Is it,
what part in the chain? Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Is it just Elizabeth? Is it the server? Is it
Mm.
everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Do they own
Will
the
we
whole
live to
lot?
find out?
Tune in next time.
She seemed uncomfortable throughout that.
I mean,
that
if we
whole
rolled our
interaction.
psychology.
Yeah.
2 90s rolls. That's amazing.
A lot of
Psychology
90
too,
rolls in that. Yeah.
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 Well, I'm sure you guys can't be in more danger than us, right? Right?
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Any questions or comments, put them in the chat. Links to everything below the stream. There will be an anniversary thing on the 25th, maybe. That's the tentative date at the moment, 25th of September, which is a Thursday. And there will be a Halloween one-shot stream on Halloween, Friday the 31st of October, which I will be running. And John, Steve, and Sam are playing in, and maybe Justin, and maybe more, but at least those three for sure. And,
I'll be too busy trick-or-treating.
Got to get them sweets.
Yeah, just on my own, which won't be weird at all.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And apologies for the 10 minutes out to deal with dodgy dog paw.
How much of our conversation did you
right.
hear? Did you have your headphones still on, or did you take
I took them off to focus on in case there were any whines of discomfort from the dog. Thought that was probably important.
Oh, sweet.
Probably, more important than what we were talking about.
She's now asleep. You'll be glad to know. So she's she's doing
clearly not that traumatized.
I think it takes quite a lot to traumatize her. To be honest, she's pretty hardy. I enjoyed that. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
So
bad. All the 90s. Curiosity killed a Cthulhu investigator from Max Writer. Yeah, that's
listening for that.
Always true. Yeah,
listening for that extra line. One more line of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
I will kill them now is the next line of dialogue.
It's already too late.
It's finally too late for them to escape.
My accomplice has finally arrived outside the door.
He should be standing right behind them right now.
Good. 42 Mythos gods are known for their reasonableness and de-escalation. I think that was the while I was off with the dog chat, wasn't it? About settling everything with
They're just misunderstood, really. That's kind of the summary, right?
Yeah, they literally cannot be comprehended.
Exactly.
Not for very long, at least.
So it's very possible that they are far more reasonable and better at de-escalation than we expect.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about like Dagon and Cthulhu because they don't talk as much, but Nyarlathotep, I always just get the feeling that he's just really bored and a little understimulated. And I think if you put him in an enriching enough environment, he'd probably be perfectly fine. The problem is that enriching environment would probably be hell on earth.
Well, that is, he's a toddler.
Yeah.
just
Just-
incredibly
yeah.
powerful. Yeah.
Put
But
plenty
yeah,
of
his
things in there
enriching
that let
environment.
him. Yeah.
Is like, yes, like humans are his plaything essentially. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also, anyone who is around children knows that it could be nothing more terrifying than a toddler with infinite power. So that would probably be the worst of eldritch beings.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I
Or
mean,
with a
we don't know
shotgun,
what
as
the life
Max put in
cycle
chat.
of an old god is, so he might actually be a toddler.
True.
Could be. Just wants his masks.
Anything else good in the chat, John?
I quite like this one as well.
Max Writer again, that one line of dialogue that gives latitude and longitude coordinates. Yeah.
It's both my favorite and my least favorite tropes.
Yeah.
When a bad guy is just there, sort of explaining his master plan to himself.
And you can tell the GM is like, the players are just not getting it, and then the bad guy is just going through rationally, like, over the top.
The thing is, though, that it kind of works with a character like Nyarlathotep, because, like, he's also pretty full of himself.
Yeah,
So if he was literally going, you're so stupid, I've done all of this and all of the, like, he's like this, yeah.
I must
Sort of
admit, the
serial
sort of
killer that wants to get caught kind of thing.
Yeah. The sort of flip side I really enjoy about our these roleplay sessions that you run, Johnny, is you always do the exact opposite of that, which I love, which is like just then we were all doing terrible roles. And I feel like if we'd also failed our listens, we would just have no inclination that we were about to be jumped and would have just been completely screwed. And I really like that. Like, these games are so slow, but there's no saving us if we mess up, or there might be something, but like we have to do it ourselves, which is so satisfying.
And it's those roles are ones that you couldn't, like, they're passive roles. So pushing it isn't really a thing. How would you push it?
How do you listen more to something
Exactly,
you've missed?
I just love the whole this is just very slow and very methodical process, and then we get to something like this and it's just like, if we don't roll well, we might just die, and there's no getting around that.
With the listen roll, like if Sam had like wanted to push the listen roll near the thing, I might have allowed that to happen. Say you could get closer, and the negative would be that you would make noise if you failed it, and therefore be caught out. But yeah, one where it's literally
Sorry, you could also just have a thing where it's like, listen, and it's like the push is like you're just like paying more attention, but you're not paying attention to your surroundings. So as a GM, I would do a thing where it's like, if they push and fail, they knock over a glass, like just straight up, Yeah.
For the record, though, I don't think you're about to instantly die. I think we're about to see you very soon.
I think you're going to say we're about to die very slowly. But yeah. Perhaps cool. This is a route. We can just get access to the place from the inside, see what we need to see.
We should have thought about being captured all along.
Good God. I mean, this is the thing about purist or sort of realist styles of play versus pulp. If we were doing pulp Cthulhu, it would be entirely reasonable to get captured and then escape.
I mean, that is a very sort of like Indiana Jonesy sort of thing to do, isn't it? Find your way in there because you're captured and escape.
It is a bit more like an open play style, I guess. Things are more. There are more opportunities, but then again, the tension is possibly a bit less.
Yeah.
Whereas when you can get jumped by a supposedly friendly tenant conspiring with,
It's like our game is the extremes. It's the vast majority, very low tension, and then the most high tension you could possibly experience.
Well, that's good. It's the contrast, isn't it, that makes it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a slow burn until, oh God, I'm on fire.
That's a question we should address there.
Yeah. Does everyone have backup characters your primaries have been in touch with?
We briefly got on this conversation while you were away, Johnny. Actually, I think the answer is no, not really.
I think when we started, I said soon we'll sort out secondary characters for everybody, and then we kind of haven't actually got around to doing them.
Well,
but go on, Steve. Sorry.
So when I was creating this character, Edwin, we did the roles live. Well, I say live. It was a recorded, session 0 style thing. Had really average roles. So I thought I'd probably better lay the groundwork for a character who's probably more experienced. So the significant person that I've got as Edwin's significant person is basically an adventurer, an explorer who is much more suited to life out in the wild and this sort of stuff. So that is my intention. If Edwin ever gets it in the neck, then yes, Samuel Green is the explorer character I would create next.
I also have been priming my significant person as a backup character.
You have been sending letters back, haven't you?
Yes,
Yeah,
to Dominic, my 18-year-old student.
Oh, that's pretty cool. My significant character is Justin's character, so that doesn't I do have one family member who is, I think, in the 90s, so that would be a fun character to play.
There is also, like, if anybody were to struggle, that the fact that Carlton Ramsey is basically your fixer, and you could get, like, he could say, oh, you should speak to this person, and that could then become, there's plenty of avenues for, like, feeding people in.
This was my
to
thought.
the more of Nyarlathotep.
I have got a significant person, Ted's brother, who's a bit estranged, but could reasonably be like, oh, I've been keeping tabs on him from his articles and heard he was here, and as an option. But then it's also like, well, say we go to Egypt next, there's almost, oh, here's a contact in Egypt that I have that could help you out. An archaeologist kind of character as a second sort of as a backup one, and if we ever get to Egypt,
might get to get someone local actually too. That's true.
Yeah, or like I said, Carlton Ramsey works as I've got this person here that if you need someone to lend your hand with this or is interested.
Yeah,
I suppose that's the purpose of his NPC in here, is to have that, like Jackson Elias was our door into this. So we sort of have backup characters.
Sort of.
Yes. Sort of's fine. Probably won't need them anyway.
Well, I wasn't going to roll until Ted died, and then I figured I'd solidify.
This is a fun cliffhanger for next session, though, isn't it? I feel like.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. We should be game for next week, I think. And yeah, join us on all the links below the stream. And I think that's it. So we'll see you next time. Bye.